The 5 Minute Theory Podcast. Bite-sized chunks of theory goodness to help you pass your theory test first time. Welcome to the 5 Minute Theory Podcast. As always, I am your splendid host, Terry Cook of TC Drive, and I'm delighted that you are listening to us today to gain a little bit more of that theory test knowledge. Today, we are going to be looking at the DVLA and what sort of things we need to notify them of and what things we don't need to notify them of. These are some of the questions that may come up on your theory test about what documents you need to keep updated, and we're going to be touching on that today. But before we do, I'm going to make two suggestions / requests of you. Firstly, wherever you're listening, go and click subscribe or follow or whatever the link is on the app, and you can go and click it there and it will put it into your feed every time we release an episode, including any of the little bonus episodes we do, and that may be a little hint as to what's coming up in the future. I'm also going to suggest that you go and check out a certain YouTube channel. So I'll put a link in the show notes, and that just search for TC Drive, you'll find that. Anyway, at the minute we put in the shows over there, and there'll be some other treats up there as well. And lastly, this is the big recommendation, go check out my theory test training course. You can find it at the website, tcdrive.co.uk, or I'll put a direct link in the show notes themselves. Go sign up. There's over 40 videos over there that walk you through the theory test step by step, so you can gain all the knowledge, not just to pass your theory test first time, but also help you with your driving test and get a better understanding of the road. But for now, as I said, we're going to look at sort of the information we need to provide the DVLA. So I'm going to initially go through one specific question because this is one that I get asked a lot. And this one is, what circumstances require you to notify the Driver and Vehicle Licence Agency, the DVLA? So what circumstances do you need to notify the DVLA? And the options were A, when health affects your driving, B, when you have to work abroad, C, when you lend your vehicle to someone, or D, when your vehicle needs an MOT certificate. Well, the only one there that you need to notify the DVLA of is when health affects your driving. As the registered keeper of the vehicle, it is your responsibility, yours, no one else's. It is your responsibility to keep the DVLA up to date with your current status. So that could mean your health, for example. So in relation to that question, you wouldn't necessarily need to tell the DVLA when you're off to work abroad. It's irrelevant. You just leave your car at home or take it with you, whatever you're doing. You don't need to tell the DVLA about that. You don't need to tell the DVLA when you're lending your vehicle to someone. That's more of an insurance thing rather than the license thing. And you don't need to tell your vehicle at the DVLA when your vehicle needs an MOT certificate. Again, that's an insurance thing, not a DVLA thing. Nothing to do with the license. It's to do with your insurance. If you don't have a valid MOT certificate when you're driving your car, the chances are your insurance is invalidated. But the thing you do need to tell the DVLA about is when your health affects your driving. So if you have a health condition such as you need to start wearing glasses or contact lenses because your eyesight is deteriorated, or you have a health condition that will affect your driving, you need to let the DVLA know. And if that worsens, so it affects your driving significantly, again, you need to let the DVLA know and possibly even give up your license to drive. The other one you need to keep on top of is your details, so along the lines of your name and address. So if you have a change of name for any reason, you need to make sure that's replicated on your driving license. If you change your address, you need to make sure that's replicated on your driving license. And all this includes your provisional license. For example, when you go for your driving test, the examiner will ask if the address on your license is still the same as the one you live in. Is it still the same address? It should be yes. You need to keep that up to date. If it isn't up to date, the examiner cannot send the license to that address. You will have to go and do it yourself and then change your details so you actually get your license sent to you. The examiner can't send off because otherwise it would go in some random stranger's house and you would never get your license. So that's a good example of why you need to keep it up to date. So yeah, they're the sort of things you need to keep up to date with the DVLA, your name, address, those sort of personal details, and your health. But If you have any health concerns, get to a doctor, get it checked out, and make serious decisions over whether you can drive. So I hope you found that useful today. Hope you can take away something from this little bit of theory goodness I'm providing you with on a weekly basis. And again, I just want to mention, if you have got your theory test coming up, even if you haven't and you want to get a better understanding of the road, go and check out the theory test course I provide. It's over at tcdrive.co.uk, or you can find it in the show note links, the links in the show notes for this episode. There's over 40 training videos there that will help you, A, pass your theory test first time, and B, give you a better understanding of the road, helping you pass your driving test. Definitely worth it. But for now, I'm going to say stay safe, drive safer. The 5 Minute Theory Podcast. Bite-sized chunks of theory goodness to help you pass your theory test first time.